Okay, Lucas, so can you just start off by telling me how much you make?
So my highest month I ever made was around $12,000 in a month.
And you're 19, right?
Yep, 19 just turned 19 last month in April.
And so what is it you do?
We do social media marketing for e-com brands. So we do the paid media as well as the ad creatives.
Okay, so for anybody that don't know what SMMA is, could you just quickly explain what
Yeah,
it
so I'll
is?
go into it real quick. So basically what we do, or what my business does is that we go in for e-com brands that want to scale using Facebook and Instagram, and we see if we can even scale them first, if they have a good product or not. And then if they have a good product, we start making ad creatives. We'll make upwards of 200 ad creatives in a month and test out different messaging, test out different hooks, test out different photos, really testing anything that we can to see what's going to drive a consumer to purchase their product. And then from there, we make iterations on those ads. And then from there, we lower the CPA and increase ROAS. And then we scale our campaigns on Facebook and Instagram to upwards of like $500 a month or $500 a day in ad spend for each campaign. And that's probably like the highest we've gone so far is about $500 a day.
Okay, okay. And did you say that you, for some brands, made 200 ad creatives a month? Is that
Yep.
right?
200 ad creatives a month. Yep.
So how do you manage to make all those ad creatives?
Yeah. So I have some pretty good systems in place using Notion as well as using Zapier. Um, and then I have a full team of copywriters and graphic designers that make all those ad creatives.
Okay, so it's not video creatives. Is it more like graphics, or is it also
We
video?
we do UGC content as well. We don't actually produce any video ads. If they have video content and they've made video ads, then we'll use those for sure. But we'll get UGC videos at cost price. So we use a platform like Incense. Incense is a paid platform for UGC content. And then we also use Twitter to grab people from Twitter to make UGC content as well. And we have an editor that makes that into ad creatives.
Okay, sick. So can you just tell me a bit about your journey? Because as far as I've read on your Twitter and Insta and YouTube, I can see that you're pretty not new to this, but you've gotten successful really quick. So could you maybe just,
You want my from the beginning?
yeah, maybe just if you started out doing
Yeah,
something else, I don't quite know.
sweet. So I was very into like YouTube at a young age. I was doing Twitch streams. I was doing YouTube videos. Anything on Fortnite, gaming, whatever it was. When I was like 15, 16, I'm making those videos, and then I always loved photography and videography, so I got into that, and I bought my own camera probably around 16, and then I had a baseball coach actually who reached out and said, "Hey, can I call you out of school? I'm giving this presentation to this college baseball program, this D1 baseball program, and I need you to film it. Like, can you film it for me?" And I was like, "Sure, might as well." And filmed the entire thing. Obviously, he's the man, Tommy Costello, and we filmed that. I chopped it all up. I was pretty good at editing since I taught myself how to edit and film everything at a young age, like 15, 14, using Premiere Pro and YouTube. And then I posted all those clips that we filmed uh, of him to that college program, and those got upwards of like 10 million views across all platforms. He's like, "Hey, let's do this full time," and I'm like, "Sure." And so I was working for free, probably for about like 6 months until I turned 18 and opened up my own business, and he started paying me. But I mean, over that period of time, we probably got millions of views for his channel alone through Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all those channels. And then probably about last summer, so about 8 months ago, I got into really like go high level. I don't know if you heard of that, like the CRM, doing that, and then I got into ad creatives and advertising. So I bought into a program that was more on social media marketing, as well as learning like go high level that CRM, and then Facebook ads as well. And then from that point, I just spent a lot of time learning on YouTube, getting into some more courses for Facebook ads. And that was probably in September, October. We started running ads for his campaign, which was Tommy Costello. And we started generating a bunch of leads for him. And I kind of got confident enough to where I was like, hey, I'm going to scale this out to some other people. And I started working with his brother in law, who runs Bar X Apparel and Didier Ranch. So those were kind of my first two big social media marketing clients. where I was able to start advertising for them, and they now do well over like $30,000 a month in sales, um, using social media marketing, obviously. And from there, I got into some more programs for agency owners and just learned about doing cold outreach and multiple channels of acquisition from Twitter to cold email, to paid ads, the whole deal, cold calling. And then I started doing cold email outreach. I was doing YouTube content, Twitter, all this stuff, which brought me more clients. And I was able to scale my agency up to like 12 clients in that month, probably just last month alone. And that's kind of where I'm at now, kind of the short story long.
Okay, that's really interesting journey. So you started out by getting some work for somebody you knew, and
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is you gotta find someone, um, same age as you, older than you, someone you can kind of like mentor off of a little bit. 'Cause he was older than me for sure. I think he's 8 years older than me. He's 27. So I was able to learn off of him and kind of just learn how he was operating his business, and I was able to take his advice and just reach out to more people and get more referrals, and then that kind of grew my business to the point where I can buy into some more programs. And then from there, in the programs, I was able to do cold outreach and YouTube content, Twitter, basically all the channels that you would think of for an agency.
okay, and what has been the most effective way of cold outreach for you?
I would say Twitter so far. I mean, especially as an agency owner, I think the big thing is building trust with consumers or just potential clients. You really need to build that trust because, especially nowadays, if someone sees you on social media, it's a warm lead and they like you already because they like your content. Rather than cold calling someone or cold emailing someone, they have no clue who you are and you have no clue who they are, and you're kind of just trying to figure out what's their vibe, what's my vibe, if this can be a good partnership or not.
Okay, so what would like a cold DM on Twitter, for example, look like? What would it say?
Cold DM on Twitter. I'd really just reach out saying, hey, saw that you run this brand or saw that you run this company or whatever it is, and then tell them kind of like what we do and see if we can even help at all.
Okay, and then you try to get them on the call, I would assume, right?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
try to get them on a call, use Calendly, just send them my calendar link and say, hey, let's hop on a call and see if I can even help you in some way. I think the biggest thing is just if you believe in your product, you believe in your service, then you believe that everybody should be working with you because you think that, you're going to help them in some way, whether it's, taking time off their hands or making their business more money. I mean, you should really be confident in your service. And, I think I'm confident in my service where I think I could help anybody that's in the e-commerce space. And I'll reach out to people and say, hey, I really think I can help you grow your business using paid media through Facebook and Instagram. If you want to do something like that, let's hop on a call and see if we're a good fit and see if I can even help you.
And what would you say, for example, I'm a freelance video editor currently, and also a lot of the people watching right now probably also. So what would be your advice for somebody that maybe wants to switch to a more like an SMA business model?
Yeah. So when you think about it at the start, I was basically a freelance editor when you think about it in the beginning. I was making, short form videos. I was also filming the short form videos for people and then actually posting it for them on Instagram, Facebook, all the channels. So I think the biggest thing is that once you kind of go into switching, you still need to have the revenue come in, right? Obviously, that makes sense because you need to pay for your coaching, you need to pay for a mentor if you're doing a mentor, and you just need to pay for your your learning, right? Because obviously you're behind the line, you don't know anything about Facebook ads, or if you're switching over to SMMA or switching over to anything else, you have to speed up that learning curve, right? Because other people may have 4 years of experience on you, and you want to switch in 4 months. So it's like you gotta buy into programs, buy into people that already have a bunch of knowledge. And then once you do that, you can then say, hey, I learned all this. Now let's go start to implement it and offer your service for free for 2 or 3 clients. Test it out. That's what I did, and really dial on in all your systems, dial in, um, your team, and then you can go from there and really start being confident about your service.
Yes, it's actually funny. I also spoke to a guy yesterday who was a growth partner, and he also said this with trying to get coaches and learn from people better than you. Like I really think that's the way to do it, and also be willing to invest some money
Yeah, no, of course. I
to
mean,
get
like I've probably
information.
spent, half of my money on coaching, just because I need to speed up my learning curve, right? I need to be better than most people. I can't be better if I don't know what I'm doing, right? So it's like, okay, so I'm gonna buy into this course because it's gonna help me in this area of my business. I'm gonna buy into this course because it's gonna help me in this area of my business, and all that starts coming together when you learn all this information. You can build a successful business, and I'm obviously still building my business to where I want it to be. So I think the real thing is buying in those courses, buying those programs. Obviously, do your due diligence and research those courses and programs and see what other people are saying. Because you don't want to buy into a bad program; it's not going to teach you a lot. And then make sure that you're still having money coming in, so you could still pay for those programs. If you're a freelance editor that's making 2 grand a month, and you need to live on $1,000 a month, then you know spend $500 a month on courses, or what I mean. That's your max budget. If you're making 8 grand a month, no, budget out whatever you think it should be. I think Alex Ramosi, if you know who Alex Ramosi is, he was talking about doing like 10% of your monthly income towards like courses, learning, education, and whatever subject you want to get better at, whether it's social media marketing, business in general, whatever it may be.
Totally agree with that. And when you said you was not exactly maybe a freelance editor, but you did some freelancing, and then you switched to SMMA. What were the skills you needed to learn? Like I would assume ads and also
Yeah.
managing people and hiring. I would guess.
Yeah, so I bought into a program um, from a guy I was just watching on YouTube, and I think that's the biggest thing too is if you're gonna build out your own course or you're gonna build out your own business, you should have your own little personal accounts that are posting content. You're posting free stuff, or you're just posting information so you can build trust with potential clients. But I bought into his program, and I was able to learn everything from copywriting to paid media to ad creatives, and that really helped me a lot. And that was just one course, and I was basically able to learn everything I need to know about Facebook ads. And I still go back to that course even today just to go back and refresh my memory on, um, you know, certain things like ad creatives, implementing certain different styles into ads. Um, I can go on for days. I won't bore you with it, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff you can learn.
And now also you're pretty new on Twitter, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty new. I just started Twitter about 2 weeks ago, and kind of getting back into like what I was talking about with like your team is that I have a Twitter ghostwriter. Like I give them all of my database of information that I have on me that I've learned or that I've learned from courses or I've learned just from experience in general. And then he just tweets all that stuff, right? So it's like I think in business too, like I hired a graphic designer because I wasn't good at graphic design, right? I tried making some ads, and it's like these are horrible. I shouldn't I shouldn't be making these ads, right? So it's like, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to spend 6 months learning how to make ads, or do I want to buy myself time, pay someone else to do it, learn, kind of their style a little bit, just so I know, what's going on with ad creatives, like how he's building them or whatever, and then have him make some SOPs for the business on how to make ad creatives. So if I want to hire someone else again, boom, the SOPs are there for people to look at. But I mean, I think the biggest thing is just hiring people that are better than you in certain positions that you're not. Like I'm not a good Twitter person, right? I can't be on Twitter all day. That's not my thing. You know what I mean? I'm just I don't really know anything about the platform. I never really enjoyed being on the platform. I do scroll on it a little bit now just because I'm on it more with my ghostwriter. But I hired him because he's the professional, right? He's the one that's generating me leads. He's the one that's posting all my content, and he's the professional at it. So I hired him just like with my copywriter. I know copywriting pretty good, but if I could hire someone that's better than me, I'm going to do that because it's going to help my client results, and it's also going to help the business grow because our service is so good. So I think another thing is just hiring people that are better than you in certain positions. If you have the income, obviously you don't want to overspend how much your business is bringing in.
Yeah, and Is there a certain place you go to look for these people?
Yeah, there's multiple places you can look. I mean, Fiverr is a great one just for short. You know, I wouldn't say you can bring them on long term. It's more of a short term like position with Fiverr if you're hiring someone to make ad creatives for you, or whatever service they're fulfilling for you. Upwork is a good one. Upwork is really good. That's more long term. It's definitely a long term play. You could do contracts on Upwork. You can hire people up for like a year, and then you can move them off the platform after that. I think might be 2 years. I don't know what their actual terms of service is because you don't want to get banned on Upwork, obviously. But Twitter is another good one too. You can reach out on Twitter and Facebook groups as well.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I've also tried a bit of Upwork, and that's also because I wanted to get hired, not to hire, but yeah.
Yeah, Facebook's a good one too because there's Facebook groups of copywriters or any small niche that's out there. You could go search in those Facebook groups and post a job posting in one of those Facebook groups and be like, "Hey, I'm looking for a copywriter. Email me like some demos to like your email," and then they'll people get 10 people to reach out, and you can choose two that you like, interview them, and then you can go with one of the two, or if you want to hire both, you can hire both.
Yeah, okay. So one of the last questions I want to ask is, there's of course a lot of people doing SMMA because it's really gotten popular,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, you of course have had really great success. So what do you think is separates you, or why did you succeed when many others don't?
Um, I think a lot of people like when they get into something, they think it's gonna be easy. For example, right? And trying to word this the best way I can. You have like uninformed optimism, basically, right? So if like you were like, if I draw like a chart, it'd be like this, and you dip back down. So here, let me get my camera. You like this, dip back down, and this is where you have uninformed pessimism, and then people go back up. These are the people that make it right here. So you go from like that. And so and you can watch an Alex Hormozy video on it. He's definitely talked about it before. But a lot of people when they hit that point where it's like, wow, this is actually hard, they quit and they switch to the next thing, thinking it's gonna be easier. And I think another big thing that allowed me to kind of be successful was in the beginning I was onboarding, everybody, whether it was, a med spa, real estate, e-commerce, everybody, right? And then when I niched down, I was really able to focus on that niche and only that niche. It allowed me to grow more rapidly because I only focused on that niche. And I turned down everybody else that wasn't part of my niche, which is e-commerce, right? Because especially in a business, if you have multiple niches and you're dealing with multiple things, it's like it's just you at the beginning of it, right? With maybe one or two people underneath you. If you're spread out like that, it's going to be a lot of time focusing on different aspects of the business. Whether you're working with a real estate guy and you're working with a med spa, or if you're working with a chiropractor, like you're spread out all over the place. And instead of rather being dialed in on the 5 e-commerce clients, um, really like niching down on that. A good guy who talked about it, anybody, you can go search this up, is Sam Altman. He ran Y Combinator, and he was talking about businesses that they invested in and if they worked out or not. And he said most businesses that did not work out was that their target market was too big. And if your target market's too big, you're going to be spread too thin with employees, and everybody is focusing on different things rather than the whole company being bought in on one specific niche. And then from there, the businesses that were successful and dominated their niche can grow up to certain niches besides that. So you can go in from, e-commerce to now they open up a real estate branch where it's like, hey, we're now doing e-commerce and real estate. Instead of going from, we're doing e-commerce, real estate, chiropractors, dentists, realtors, there's multiple niches you can do in social media marketing. I would say just really be focused on your niche, make content around your niche and how you can help them, and yeah, go from there and never stop.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And now you mentioned Sam and Alex Hormozy. Are there other people that like you would recommend to learn from on YouTube or just on social media in general?
Yeah, Alex Ramosi, Patrick Bay David, Sam Altman. Steve Jobs, and there's a bunch of Steve Jobs old lectures that he gave at universities that you can go watch on YouTube. Another good one would be forgetting his name, Andy Frischwella. I'm pretty sure that's what you say his last name. He built First Form supplements. He's a good guy to learn business about, and that's really it. Honestly, just read as much books as you can. I would say knowledge is in the books too. I've read a bunch of business books on either how to interact with clients, Think and Grow Rich, how to win friends and influence people, to all of Alex Ramosey's books, to Patrick B. David's book, to multiple others that helped me not only with my mindset and how to communicate with people, but also how to grow a business.
Yeah, and I would like to add to that that it's really important to get all this knowledge and information and read books, but it's also like the success is in the action. So you also have to act because that's
Yeah, you
really
got
also
to.
what separates the successful from the unsuccessful.
Yeah, 1000%. You got to act on it. But I think one of the biggest things too is just knowing the information before you even get into it. Um,
Yeah,
that's definitely a big thing. Because you got to, there's a learning curve to it. You got to, if you want to grow a business in a year, you got to put in the hours, you got to put in the time, you got to learn a lot. So learn as much as you can, especially from people that have built great things, from Alex Ramosi to Steve Jobs to David. All good people to learn from.
yeah. Okay, Lucas. So thanks so much for sharing all your knowledge with me and also all the people watching and listening. So yeah, I really appreciate you and doing this interview.
Of course. Thank you, Max, for having me.